Good evening, everybody. It's 7 o'clock on Monday, September 2nd, 2025, and we'll call this City Commission meeting to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Gary.
Here.
Commissioner Bauer.
Here.
Commissioner Bospis Rath.
Here.
Commissioner Habusta.
Here.
Commissioner Marble.
Here.
Commissioner Rubenstein.
Here.
Commissioner Talentino.
Here.
All present. Could we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Since our last meeting, Lake Superior State University students are back, so it's nice to see all the students in town, and also, obviously, today, Sioux Area Public Schools are back, so one of the public announcements we like to say is please slow down on the roads and watch the crosswalks and watch for buses. It's been a long summer season without students, so be aware that they are out and about, and slow down and be cautious. One item I just wanted to mention, 2 weeks ago I had a meeting with Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario mayor and some of their administration and some of their business owners and the U.S. Consulate General Baxter Hunt to talk about cross-border relationships. It was a very nice and positive meeting, and Baxter Hunt talked about the value of both countries. Obviously, he's a Trump appointee, so he was up to date on all the discussions on tariffs and cross-border shopping and everything else. It was really very positive, and we had an opportunity to talk about the great relationship that we have between the Twin Sioux, and spoke much about the collaborations that we have with our EDCs, public safety, and just all the cross-border, one big Twin City things with a bridge in between. And I think he admitted, and everybody there, that we need to stay focused on our local relationships. The rest of it will be worked out at the appropriate levels at the federal government level. So we'll move on into item C, which is public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any time, reserve any time to speak on any of the agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move into item D, I guess it is, the consent agenda. Deputy City Manager Robin Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Under the consent agenda, approval of the City Commission meeting minutes of August 18th, 2025. Item 2, acceptance of the Airport Advisory Board meeting minutes of July 10th, 2025. Item 3, acceptance of the Economic Development Corporation, Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, and Tax Increment Finance Authority 3 meeting minutes of July 8th, 2025. Item 4, acceptance of the Sault Ste. Marie Housing Commission meeting minutes of July 17th. Item 5, acceptance of the Tax Increment Finance Authority 3 meeting minutes of July 23rd. Item 6 is resignation of Fred Williams from the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board effective August 4th. Item 7 is appointment of Nikos Packer to the Parks and Rec Advisory Board for a term set to expire July 1, 2028. Item 8, scheduling of a public hearing to consider a city-initiated request to vacate the remaining portion of Division Street for the September 15, 2025 regular City Commission meeting. Item 9 is consideration of a request from Cloverland Electric Cooperative for a utility easement on city-owned parcel 051-063-013-50. And item 10 is approval of the consent agenda items as presented.
Thank you very much, Deputy City Manager. Would any commissioner like any of these items further explained or removed for individual consideration? Commissioner Habusta.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On item number 7, the appointment of Nikos Jokin and Packer to the Parks and Rec, can you tell me when that position, that board vacancy was posted on our social media?
I'm not 100% sure. Do you recall?
We have ongoing postings, but if you're looking specifically to this one, I'd have to look back to see when the last posting went out at social media.
Let me ask it this way. Previously, we had agreed around this dais that when there was a vacancy, we would post that vacancy for 2 weeks before filling it. Do we know that that was posted for 2 weeks prior to it being filled, or a recommendation coming to this commission?
I guess we would have to double check. I'm not sure if it was or not. I think we've been doing real good about getting those out, especially since there hasn't been a lot of people coming forward for the boards and commissions. But I guess we can double check and follow up. I guess if you want to hold off on the appointment tonight, that's fine. Otherwise, we'll follow up with the timeline when we get it tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would ask that item number 7 be removed from the consent agenda for individual consideration.
Okay. Any other commissioners? Commissioner Bauer.
So moved, we approve items 1 through 6, 8, and 9, with 7 to be determined in a few minutes.
Support.
Motion and support. Any questions or comments? All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. So now we'll go back and revisit number 7, which is the appointment of Nikos Packer to the Parks and Rec Board. City Manager, I don't know if you have any other info.
I don't, not off the top of my head.
Okay.
May I make a comment?
Yes, Commissioner Bauer.
Just wondering, in regards to this board itself, how many of us, show of hands, have sat on other city boards prior to being on city commission? Anybody?
Can't remember back that far.
You weren't on any more boards before you were
I don't know,
for
it's
city
18 years
commission?
ago. I'm assuming yes.
Okay. Well, that just flushes my entire discussion down the toilet. The point I was going to make, and I can't make it now, clearly, was that, I mean, for me personally, and maybe for Commissioner Rubenstein, I don't know. I think that, people generally, they want to, lend a hand, they want to get involved. They will put their name on an application, put it into City Hall, and even this gentleman, he had multiple boards that he wouldn't mind sitting on. So, I mean, clearly he wanted to get involved. I don't know. I mean, I guess there are times when, oh, wow, there's a vacancy on this or that board. Well, I'm interested in that. But I think that generally speaking, the people who sit on these boards, either they want to be involved or they're not. And if they want to be involved, then they have, then they have applications on hand. I don't see a problem with appointing Nikos Jokinden Packer to the vacancy of Parks and Rec.
Commissioner Hubusta.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate those comments, Commissioner Bauer. My argument is simply we established a policy around this dais, a policy that we would post these for 2 weeks, and at this time, current administration cannot tell us whether or not that policy was followed. If we're going to set a policy, then we should follow it. Thank you.
Any other comments? Commissioner Rubenstein.
Was that the only vacancy, or is there still open?
On the Parks and Rec Board?
Yeah.
Is it the only vacancy, or is there another vacancy? It is currently, I'm sorry, say it again. The only vacancy. It's the only vacancy.
All right. Thank you.
This is the vacancy created from number 6? Yes. Okay,
Mayor, may I?
sure. Deputy
So
City
on
Manager.
this, the application was received. It wasn't specific to the Parks and Recreation Board. I circulated it to the boards of interest, to the staff liaison, and there was an interest on the Parks and Rec Board for the So they had reached out to him, and he was interested in serving on it. So that's how it came about. There was more than one interest in one board,
So the Parks and Rec Board reached out to Nikos?
correct?
Okay. All right, anybody, Commissioner Bosworth?
I happen to agree with Commissioner Bauer. I don't see, if you go to the city website, you can put in an application to be on a board. So at any time, someone could just, I'd like to be on a board someday, and fill it out and put your interests in, which is, I'm assuming what Nico did. I don't see anything wrong with it. He's educated, he's showing interest, he wants to be on 3 different boards. The Parks and Rec was one of them. I don't see why we wouldn't give him a chance.
I know Nikos, and he's a great kid, and he just graduated from college, and he would be a great addition. And I think we'd be doing a disservice by not accepting him warmly to one of the boards and commissions. And I think if the Parks and Rec Board reached out to them, I think this is the natural one to go with. Commissioner Marvel?
I have to agree with you, Mr. Mayor. I think that we would be missing a great opportunity if we did not appoint him.
Commissioner Hubusta?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would simply add again, we instituted a policy around this dais, a policy now which seems like the majority of commission would like to work around policy. I think our job, our role as a commission is to set forth policy. That's our job, and to hold tight to the policies that we set. The fact that we're going around this, it has nothing to do with the individual, their capabilities to serve in this role or anything like that. It has to do with the policy that we set forward. And as a point of order, I would just add to that last time we did this and we put it back out, we had additional, I think, 6 individuals apply for the vacancy, including Dr. Fred Williams, who's a doctor of recreation who was then appointed to the board. So I simply cannot agree that just because an individual qualified makes them the best candidate if we have not put out and followed the policy that we set around this dais. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anybody else? Anybody have a motion on the floor?
I'll make the motion that we appoint Nikos, Yokin, and Packer to the Parks and Recreation Board for a
Support.
term to expire July 1st, 2028.
Support.
Motion and support. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? of-
One other,
Sure.
too, and that is, we have established that we don't know that 2 weeks wasn't given, right? I mean, we just don't know, correct?
From what I understand.
I
Well,
don't know.
We're not sure.
there's a resignation this evening, so we're filling the spot. But he applied on August 6th, and it's an open and rolling application process for all boards and commissions. So, do we know if we have a long list of people fighting to get in?
We don't.
Okay. All right, so there is a motion to support. Any other questions, comments? All in favor?
Can I ask,
Commissioner Ubusta?
I just would ask for follow-up on that question. Do we know or do we not know that there was 2 weeks? That it was posted for 2 weeks?
I do not know. Either.
How could it be 2 weeks? We have the resignation in front of us tonight from the board, I guess. I don't know when the resignation was dated.
It could have been posted on the resignation, or at the resignation, it could have been posted on 8/5, which would have left it for 2 weeks.
August 4th, he resigned.
So it could have been, but we have no indication that it was.
Correct. So we do have a motion and support. Any other questions or comments? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
Motion passed on a 6-1 vote. All right, so now we will move into item E, which is special orders of business. City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a consideration of a resolution to establish the lot splits over in the subdivision by the parking garage. As the lots were split out, this is kind of a necessary step. There's a process that it has to go through. It did go to Plan Commission to be reviewed under the guidance of the zoning ordinance, to which there's no conflicts, and they recommended approval of the lot splits. Adopting the resolution tonight will finalize the lot splits. So we look for a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
Thank you, City Manager. Thank you, City Manager. Do we have any questions or comments on that item? Who would like to make the motion? Commissioner Rubenstein.
Motion to approve the proposed lot split as presented.
Support.
Moved and support. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Moving on into item F, Communications, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next, we have Tony and Coach Danny Philippic that would like to present and inform the commission regarding the Sioux International Festival of Races. I believe he has a PowerPoint, to which I
Yeah, I've
will
got a
turn it over.
PowerPoint. Sorry to interrupt you, Brian.
No, it's okay.
Just a little nervous. I'm trying to get it out. All right, I believe they're watching at home. Sorry, Danny isn't here. She's much better to look at. She's probably watching. Hi, Flair. Hi, Rowdy. Hi, Foley. All right, and hi, Danny. So I'm going to go over this. This is a big thing going on. Some of you have heard about it, hopefully, by now. So we're about 25 days from race day. And I've met with a group of the administrators, I want to say August 7th, for a meeting, and it went well, and they discussed a lot of logistically things, some things I didn't think about, and I think I'm glad to have their support, so I'll go over. I don't want to take an hour here, but I do have 8 slides with just some different demographics to cover, and hopefully that gives you guys an idea of what's going on in, let's say 25 days. So again, the CVB, so Linda Hoth, Nick Nolan, and the crew, they came to me and my wife and asked us, hey, do you think you can get the Sioux International Festival of Races back going? It hasn't happened in 6 years, since 2019. So we said, well, that's kind of what we do. So yeah, I think we can get this thing going, and we appreciate you asking us. This is kind of a dream of ours to be able to bring this thing back. We ran the race back in 2018. Won the half marathon and got to experience it firsthand, crossing the bridge, coming back, and it was a great experience. So current entries right now, 539 entries. The last time we met, August 7th, we were looking at 380 entries, so a good uptick there. And I'm just going to go after or go over some of the demographics of those entries currently. Now, some of these people are counted twice because we have 2 days of races, and I don't have the specific number of the people that are coming back for a second day, but a lot of them are out-of-towners, I can say, which is a good thing for our economy. So here's the age demographics. So as you can see there, wide variety of different aged participants. The largest group there is 50 to 64 with a close 40 to 49. So that encompasses about 56% or 66%. I got that right? 56.5% of total participants are in that 40 to 64 age group. So probably people with a little more indiscretionary income probably have some more time to travel, do things, hopefully give the city a boost, and work on their health too. Female versus male, we've got 68.8% female, which is, I don't know what that says about men and women, but this is not uncommon. This is actually pretty common of the races that we host, and I've put some notes below. We do have a nursing and lactation room that's going to be available in First Room Sizzler Center. So that's booked out for mothers with young children. Rosa Gardner, who's a specialist in town, is going to be monitoring that and in charge of that. And Danny is helping give credentials out so that the proper people are coming in and out of the room. Scarlett's Closet, they are also giving a discount to participants. I don't know the exact participant, but they provide stroller rentals. So if there's people in town that can't fit everything into their car, then, maybe you have some family you'd like to invite over for that weekend. And there are some options there for some of those women who maybe have children where it's a little more difficult to come and participate in this type of event. So countries and states / province, so obviously we do have some Canadian participation. We have the 90% from the USA. We have close to 10% there from Canada. And we were talking about cross-border relationships earlier in this meeting, and I think that's valuable to note. This is on par with what we get in most of our races is about 10%. I think that could be higher. And I think locally, we're going to see a large uptick over the next 3 to 4 weeks of local participants. To compare, I'll compare on a different slide. I'll get to a different point I'm going to try to make. But you can see there, Michigan, 80% of participants there are from Michigan, but they're not just from Sault Ste. Marie, which we'll go over in the next slide. But Wisconsin, 17. Indiana, 10, Illinois, 8, Ohio, and Kentucky each have 5 each. There's 4 from Florida. They may be snowbirds, I don't know, so they might live up here in the summertime. But we do have a good variety of people traveling from the Midwest to come here to hopefully stay in town for the whole weekend for the people that are doing multiple races, which is, again, a good thing for hotels, restaurants, businesses, that sort of thing. Here's the city breakdown. So that's Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and Canada, not California there. But that's 81 of our current participants are from Sault Ste. Marie. And that's pretty low right now comparatively to the 500. It's 540 entries basically that we have right now. So only 80, you do the math on that, I don't know what the math is, it's something like 15%. And most of our races, we have 50% plus of Sault Ste. Marie type, either Canada or Michigan. So that's still pretty low right now. So I think we're going to have a lot of last minute local people that say weather's looking good. It's not going to snow, hopefully, September 27th and 28th. So we're going to get signed up here. Traverse City, Northern Michigan areas, Grayling, and then you get to Mid-Michigan area, Bay City's got 9 signups. Flat Rock and Flushing each have 8. The following, Rudyard, Rapid River, Marquette, Kalamazoo, Gaylord. There's over 100 cities essentially represented. I don't have all of those listed, but these were the ones that were listed on top in terms of total registration so far. We've got some different sponsors. This doesn't include everybody who we're collaborating with, but these are different essentially financial sponsors. So we have Sioux CVB, Cooper Dental, Queen City Running Companies coming in from Marquette. We don't actually have a running store in town here, and I don't plan on really getting into retail so much. But Bordertown Chiropractic, Lake Superior State, obviously we're going to start and finish day 1 over the International Bridge from Plager Commons there, centrally located in campus, which is going to be awesome. We discussed that in our city meeting, and there's a lot of logistics going into that, but it's going to be a great day there. And then Sioux Co-op Credit Union, and they'll also be setting up a tent and doing some volunteering that morning. So I had a meeting with the city, and after that, I added a donation button that didn't exist prior to that. And so we're averaging $2 in donations from participants. And we're looking at giving back to the LSSU Community Fund, LSSU Kinesiology Club and Athletics, and then also the Sioux Police and Fire. So we're going to give much more on top of what we get from participants, but we want to make sure that participants know the value of that these groups are providing in order to make sure that this event is run properly. So we're happy to give back, and once we get kind of a breakdown of all the expenses, you don't want to know what type of money I spent today, but it's no big deal. I won't go over the X's and O's of that, but there's a lot of t-shirts being ordered. There's a lot of medals being ordered right now. You can't order those things the day before. So we're happy to be keeping most of that money locally. So we do have some local businesses like Bricko Designs, Alpine Chocolate House, Super Pasty, Quilted Moose, that we're doing awards through those companies. We get most of our snacks and everything from Meijer. That's just what we do. I don't know if you guys are Walmart or Meijer or Pat's or that sort of thing, but we typically will go to Meijer, and maybe they can be a sponsor next year there. We've got OO Parties doing the face painting for the kids, which is great. They do a great job locally. All of our t-shirts are going through All-Star Graphics, and there's other expenses that we probably haven't even thought about, right? Some of the community partnerships and economic impact, I'm not really going to discuss economic impact because I'm not an expert on that. I just threw that in there because I believe there is some economic impact and value here. Pizza Hut, Subway, Danny was calling them on the phone. They do their sign thing. She said, can you put some stuff on the signs for welcome runners that weekend, this and that. So she talked to their managers there. Let's see, Friday, we've got packet pickup there on campus, and then a sip and shop at Fat Boutique. So that's 15% off for runners from 4 to 5:30 on Friday. And then there is a shakeout run, pre-race run, group run there at Birdseye, which they do a lot of runs from there. And Courtney, what's Courtney's last name? I can't think of it right now. She's a great ambassador. Courtney, she signed up to do a couple of the races, and she's the lead ambassador for Detroit Free Press. So we've been able to pick up some good Metro Detroit entries because of her, and she's a huge supporter of Uper Running. She's even got a decal on her car, so which is great. We didn't give it to her. She just went out and got it. So $1 off there for drinks that night. And then Saturday, race day, starts at 8 a.m. Anybody here that wants to be involved, we invite you guys to come out, either sign up and participate. If you'd like to say anything before, I know usually Brian or Don or somebody likes to maybe address the crowd and get them pumped up before the big race. You're more than welcome to. Just let us know so that we can make sure a mic is available for you guys. But that starts at 8 a.m., so make sure you wake up early, get there early. Sugar Daddies is going to be providing some post-race snacks in addition to what we provide, which is great. Hopefully get yourself a cinnamon roll after. And we have an additional evening of packet pickup for day 2 happening at LSSU, while we also have stuff going on in downtown. Ray here, met with him last week, and he says, why don't we do $5 off pizza? And so from 4 p.m. on, where they're going to do $5 off all the pizzas for the runners. If you're not signed up and running, you can't get that, so sign up. And then bring your families in and enjoy yourselves a good pizza there at Sioux Brewing. And day 2 will start downtown at Market Square there. So half marathon, 5K, 5K run, 5K walk. For those of you who aren't runners, you can certainly participate and walk that morning on Sunday. It's going to be early start. We're not out there all day. Hopefully we get good weather. Everybody enjoys themselves. We're doing some special menu items across the street at Birdseye for breakfast. So I'm sure people will enjoy, and then some more face painting there. Business collaborations are great. I'm meeting with John. John's in the audience today, DeRue. And so we'll go over some additional ways that we can maybe attract participants and advertise for this. And I think all in all, it's going to be a really good thing. So a big thank you to the city for allowing this to come back and happen again after 6 years. I mean, this is, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Marquette, but it's not too far from here. And they have the largest running race in the UP, and that was 1,300 participants last weekend. And so we're not too far from there. Market trends for half marathons tend to double in the last month, and 5Ks, they can double in the last 2 to 3 weeks. I've seen them double in the last week, right? We do have some caps on there. We can't exceed what we don't have items for. So now we're just trying to kind of reel in those last 600, 700 entries, hopefully, over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And believe it or not, you might not think we'll get those, but I mean, we had 35 entries the other day, right? So, and that was mostly due to a price increase, but people will start to really sign up in hordes. And it's going to be a good stimulus downtown. I don't think we've had it for, again, 6 years, where this last weekend in September, it's not just people looking at leaves, it's people coming in and staying for the weekend, enjoying themselves. And so, yeah, that's it. I'm going to take up your hour, 2 hours. And I guess the only thing now is just let's make this happen. Let's make it a big thing. So hopefully make it an annual thing where we don't get shut out again, and not do this for another 6 years or something. You guys have any questions for me before you move on to the agenda?
Commissioner Abusta.
Thank you. And I'm assuming there'll be some local streets closures associated with that.
Yeah.
And do we have partners in the city and administration who will get that word out to our residents?
Street closures?
Yeah.
I'm sure that, yes, I mean, I don't know if we have anything specifically planned, but I think the race itself will get the word out, but I think the street closure isn't that bad. I think it's just that portion of Easter Day that leads from LSSU to, the,
Bridge apron there.
yeah, the bridge apron there, goes down the International Bridge. And I think on day 2, there's just a little bit of road closure. There's any road closures, is there?
They're going to set, yeah.
Yeah, there's a road closure, let's go to Osborne.
They're going to set it all the way up to Bingham, from Osborne to Bingham, along that main strip there on Portage Avenue, Steve. And so, yeah, it's important that we get that information out to the public. It is an 8 a.m. race, but there's still people that like to go to Frank, so we need to make sure that all those businesses know that, so that they can try to promote their own businesses during that period of time. Ray's in that strip there as well. I don't think he opens at 8 in the morning, but you never know. But that's important. But yeah, the only road closure there on day 1 is there from Meridian on the north lane there on Easter Day, from Meridian down to the ramp. So
Thank you, and I appreciate that, and I understand that it's a small section road, but as someone who lives at that corner, I can tell you it's important that we get that word out. Thank you.
Commissioner Bassos-Rath.
I don't really have any questions. I just want to give you guys kudos, and Danny knows, I think she's a rock star. I'm excited for this race. I love running. I don't run, but I love watching them, and I like the excitement that it brings. Yeah, I'm super excited. I think you guys are going to easily get close to that goal of 1,200.
yeah, thank you for that comment. Robin said that she participated before. I believe Tyler's wife signed up. Some of you have maybe participated where you ran over the bridge and back, and there's been a variety of different races and different distances and whatnot. So this is probably a little bit different than what we've done in the past, but I think it highlights Lake Superior State more this year, with a start and finish right centrally located there at campus, and that's a great partnership. And then I think we highlight downtown on day 2.
Anybody else? Fantastic job. Thank you very much. Appreciate everything you're doing.
Yeah, thanks for letting me talk. I'm going to continue to listen for the rest of the meeting. This is my second or third favorite show on TV.
You don't have cable then, eh? Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So moving on into G, business items number 1.
Hey, wait a minute. He has to tell us what his first favorite show is. If we're 2 or 3, we need to know what's
May not
number
need to
1.
know.
Yeah, so the names of my children were probably away while my favorite show is.
Gotcha.
City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to sell parcel 051330004-50 to Colden Harrison for the dollar amount of $4,400. This property came to the city through tax foreclosure. We put in some funds to demolish the structure that was there. The property, Mr. Colden approached the city staff about purchasing the property It is his intentions to build a new home on that site. The city also reached out to some of the neighbors to discuss the potential sale. At the time, the neighbors didn't have any interest in it. Included in the item for commission review is the land sale policy, which authorizes the waiver of the typical bidding for projects that have a development interest with them. So we would look for a motion to approve the sale to Colden Harrison for the amount of $401.
Thank you very much, City Manager. Anybody have any questions or comments on this item? Commissioner Rubenstein.
Just a question about C.J. Weisenberger and his why it wasn't clear why he objected, but then also said he wasn't interested in purchasing it. Could you just provide more clarity there?
Director Freeman, you want to take that one for me?
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. He really didn't elaborate when I had the discussion with him. So I would really hesitate to speculate as to his intentions for saying that he wants things to remain the status quo but is not interested in purchasing.
Thank you.
Commissioner Habusta.
Thank you. I guess my theme tonight is consistency, and we took action on 1/15 of 24 and 11/20 of 23, and two parcels which individuals looked to purchase. In both of those cases, we put that parcel out for bid, securing more than the minimum bid within one of the cases by a significant amount. I believe that we need to continue to be consistent in what we do, just as I said within the first item. And in that case, I believe that we need to put this out to bid, and we need to sell the property as we have. On those properties on 1/15 of 24 and 11/20 of 23. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Bauer.
Several things. Number one is that I do agree with Commissioner Habusta on that, especially for the sake of this board's consistency, that we do put this out for bid. I wanted to address the prior comment, though, in regards to Mr. Weisenberger, and that is that because that sewer line evidently runs through that property, and he had issues when there was the demolition of that property to begin with, and he fears that if there's construction again, that there will be more issues with that sewer line. That's his problem. I also noticed, though, that in our packet, it says the city assessor has placed a value of $44.01 on the subject property, a figure which was agreeable to Mr. Harrison, and one of which Mr. Weisenberg is aware in case he would like to make a competing offer on the property. But I don't see where that would even be a point, because if we waive the process, then he's not going to be able to make a bid on the property. So that part had me a little bit, I don't know, miffed. But I do agree with Commissioner Habusta that we put this up for bids.
Any other commissioners with comments? Commissioner Rubenstein.
When something sells for above the assessed value in this type of situation, where does the extra money stay with the city? Does it go to the state? How does that?
So that can be a really long answer. The short of it is the funds stay with the city, but we do have to be mindful to be able to document or justify holding on to those funds. So for example, let's say we took in a vacant piece of property and the back taxes were like $2,500. If we turned around and sold that property, let's say for $10,000, we have to figure out the taxable value, or not the taxable, the millage rates at that particular time, and we have to share, quote unquote, the profits with those other taxing jurisdictions. Typically, we don't have to worry about that because we've either demolished a structure, and that's the way we're recouping those costs, or we've had the property for so long and we've maintained it and mowed it and done all those things, we can justify those costs. But, so I mean, it just depends on how long you've had the property, how much you put into it, and how much the property sells for. But there is a mechanism there. Now, even to talk even more, with the new law on foreclosures as well, if the property sells higher than the cost that you have into the property owner can also make a claim on that tax proceeds and recoup some of those funds that way too. So if you sell a property for more than what you can justify in terms of recouping, it can be diverted back to the other taxing jurisdictions and or the property owner that lost it as well.
Thank you.
But we've got 24,000 into this one, so we're
Yeah,
not gonna be
yeah,
in
and
that
that's-
situation.
And that's what I mean, we don't have to worry
Yeah.
about this one, but just, I guess just as a general sense, there is something that we have to kind of keep an eye on. And I believe the state does audit these every now and then. I think we got a couple in the last couple of years, it seems like. Yeah, we have. So the state does kind of audit these on occasion.
Any other comments or questions? Commissioner Talentino?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, and I understand where the other two commissioners are coming from as far as putting this out to bid. I just don't want to see this sit vacant. Here's an individual that is willing to buy this property, wanting to build a new home inside our city limits. How many building permits for new homes do we get within our city? I'll go on a line and probably say not a whole bunch. We get our fair share, but not a whole bunch. So we are, and I agree with what the two are saying, and that's fine. But remember, this can also go the other way, like a few other things in this meeting, in these meetings have gone, okay, where it just sits dormant and it is what it is. Instead of a new home, tax dollars coming in from that new home, et cetera.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Bauer?
Well, if we don't waive the bid process, Colton Harrison is certainly welcome to put out a bid and could possibly even save money on it himself.
I guess just to be upfront, the minimum bid that we would offer would be the value of the property, correct? Yeah,
Okay, I stand corrected.
sorry.
My fault.
So we would set the floor at 4401.
Correct.
Okay. Commissioner Habusta?
And just to follow up on Commissioner Bauer's point there a little bit, the worst that happens is we get the same amount of money. The best that happens is we get additional money for tax revenue and that we can, additional revenue coming in. So I think that's the worst that happens.
I guess,
Or we-
just
go ahead.
real quick, from our perspective, the reason why we have this baked into the policy is because if there's a strong chance that there is development, what we would hate to have happen is a property go out to bid, and let's say it gets up to about $7,000, $8,000, and maybe that's not worth the person who has approached the staff anymore, and they walk away from it, and then a land speculator buys it for $8,000, $10,000, and then it kind of sits vacant there. I mean, land speculation is kind of a huge concern of Director Freeman and I's when we do these things. People can buy properties for real cheap and sit on them. We ran into that problem quite a bit in my last community downstate where we had riverfront property that would go on foreclosure. Somebody would spend some money on it, realize it's nothing that great, and then sit on it until the foreclosure process rolls again. So I guess just, from our perspective, this piece of the policy is there so that we can kind of prevent those land speculators from coming in and outbidding somebody to the point where it's not worth their time or effort to continue to bid it out because maybe they don't want to at that point.
It's a good point. Do we have anything, so he has a project that he wants to put up. Do we have anything as far as a deed restriction that requires performance within a certain amount of time?
We would bake that into it. I don't know if that would necessarily be in the deed, but maybe the purchase agreement, but there are things that we can do to kind of establish those timeframes. There's even opportunities to work with the land bank. Maybe they hold it to see the project through, then they're kind of dealing with it, but there's kind of couple different ways that we can do that.
So to your point, Commissioner, the worst-case scenario would be nobody bids on it and we don't have any action, I guess. Commissioner Bossas-Rath?
Well, another thing too that we need to consider is not only could he be outbid and then his plans, he can't build a new home, but also maybe he's got a timeline that he wants to do this in with construction and supplies and all the thing. How long does something have to be bid out for? Is it 2 weeks? Is the timeline, or can it be?
I'm not sure if we have a set policy on timeline.
We don't have a set timeline, but usually, 2 to 4 weeks for land.
Okay, because, I mean, I would hate to see if he's planning on building a new home, and then with winter coming, and now he's missed that opportunity. That's just my concern on that. I do understand that we bid it out, follow the policy, but I don't really see how anybody else is gonna want that land, and if he's gonna build a new home on it. Just my 2 cents.
And just to clarify too, we're not asking you to waive the policy itself. The policy includes the ability to waive the bidding requirement for properties that have some form of development that can come to it.
That's good clarification, thank you. Commissioner Rubenstein.
If I recall correctly, in the last couple of instances where this came up, we had somebody saying that they potentially might be interested in placing a bid. There's one question on it, and then the other question is, I don't think the other two were related to development at all, correct? Or the two or I think there's been 3 of them actually.
Director Freeman, do you recall? I don't recall if they had development or not. Maybe one of them did.
One of them didn't and the other one did, but I don't know how genuine that expression of interest ended up being.
That's right, one of them was for kind of a small manufacturing.
Right, at the triangular parcel not too far from the Easterday Industrial Park.
Correct, yeah, that's right.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion? Anybody like to make the motion as presented or otherwise?
Make it if I can.
Commissioner Rubenstein. I'd tell you how if I knew.
Motion to waive the public bid requirement and authorize the sale of city-owned parcel to Colden Harrison for $4,401.
Support.
There is motion and support. Any questions or comments before we have all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Motion passed 5-2. Thank you very much. So we'll move on into G, business items number 2, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to purchase new underbody scrapers for the plow trucks. Kind of a timely purchase here as we're getting ready for winter time. This particular purchase is through the joint Sourcewell bid contracts that we have access to through the state of Michigan. All in all, we have about $52,000 worth of purchases that we're making through this. There is a current budget of about $55,000. I can't quite see how many of these are gonna buy, but these will kind of get us ready here for the winter time. So we look for a motion, if I can find it. Motion to award the purchase of plow truck underbody scrapers to Truck and Trailer Specialties in the amount of $52,043.78.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions or comments on this item? Commissioner Habusta.
Thank you. Just a question on the turnaround time on those. Will they be here? I mean, winter could be tomorrow the way we go, but just curious as to.
Said they have 2 in stock, it said on there. so-
Yeah.
Perfect.
Any other questions? Anybody else? Would you like to make the motion? How'd you get back
I don't-
there, Ravi?
I don't think we're gonna be asked to do commercials for this company anytime soon.
If you click alongside, you can go back to it.
Motion to award the purchase of a plow truck underbody scrapers to Truck and Trailer Specialties in the amount of $52,043.78.
Support.
Motion and support. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. So again, on G, business items number 3, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to award a bid for the disc golf course concrete T-pad construction project. Included in the agenda item are the bid tabs. that were re-released. The low bid coming in from Orsco Cement and Construction of Lincoln Park, Michigan, in the amount of $14,220. Just as an FYI, just because there were some questions about this one before the meeting, they're not coming from Lincoln Park, Michigan. This company does have a crew around Mackinac City, so they are closer to the Sioux. They're not one of the companies that originally bid it out, but this was one of the few companies, actually the only company, that reached out to Director Perrin to get more specifics about the project and what we're hoping to accomplish. So we would look for a motion to award the bid to Orsco Cement and Construction in the amount of $14,222, as well as a motion to increase the project budget by $800, with the allocation coming from the SEAL Operating Fund.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions or comments on this item?
Thank you.
Commissioner Talentino.
Thank you, Your Honor. For transparency, I do work for one of the commercial contracting companies that has placed a bid within this. That being said, I would like to abstain from the vote.
So granted. Anybody else? Commissioner Rubenstein.
Just a comment around, there's been a lot of talk around policies tonight and flexibility, and I think this whole situation with the disc golf and the concrete pads and how we got to this point shows a perfect example of why in some of our policies there is opportunities to be flexible, and why we make those decisions sometimes, because now we're spending more money than we would have before. So I just think it's important to note that.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Bauer. You had your, okay, Commissioner Habuz.
Thank you. I would actually argue something quite different. I think that we need to be asking ourselves why then local companies are not bidding with the city in the same way they bid outside the city. I think that to me is a deep concern. I think everyone around here should be concerned about that and not whether or not we are flexible in bending our policy. Thank you.
Who'd like to make that motion? Commissioner Marvel.
Motion to award the bid to Orsco Cement and Construction of Lincoln Park, Michigan, in the amount of $14,220.
Support.
Motion and support. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Number 2, Commissioner Marvel.
Motion to increase the project budget by $800 with an allocation from the SEAL Operating Fund.
Is there support?
Support.
Motion and support. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion also passed unanimously. Thank you. G, business items, number 4, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to award a bid to J. Rank Electric for the installation of emergency power equipment at the 3rd Avenue lift station. This project was originally intended to cover 2 generators at 2 separate lift stations. Upon receiving the bids, it came back significantly over budget. Wastewater Treatment Plant Director Brian Masterson worked with the bidders to reduce one of the lift stations, to which they landed on 3rd Avenue lift station. So this motion is for 1 generator to be installed at 3rd Avenue lift station. So we look for a motion to award the bid to J. Rank Electric in the amount of $110,876. Man.
Thank you, City Manager. Does anybody have any questions or comments on this item? Commissioner Bastos Rath.
Thank you, Mayor. Motion to award the bid to J. Rank Electric Incorporated in the amount of $110,876.
Support.
Motion and support. Any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. And moving into the last item in business items, number 5, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next is a request from the Great Lakes Recovery Center to support their 2% funding application with the Sioux Tribe's 2% program. In their application, they are seeking $20,000 to improve the facility infrastructure to support client comfort, expand programming, and provide essential staff training, supplies, and therapeutic materials. Again, just as a reminder, we've been through this before, the 2% requests coming from other organizations, we act just as a pass-through. The application, if approved tonight, will go to the 2% program. If awarded, we'll bring that back to the commission for execution and a budget amendment, and then pass the funding through us to the awardee. So we look for a motion, bless you, we look for a motion to approve the 2% funding request from GLRC as presented.
Thank you, City Manager. Any comments, questions on this item? Commissioner Habusta, would you like to make the motion?
Yeah, so move.
Support.
We have motion and support. Any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously, and thank you to Deputy City Manager Robin Troyer for helping us through this by doing all of our vote clicks for us. Thank you. That made it a lot easier, but I made it a lot harder for you, so appreciate it. All right, moving into City Manager announcements and updates. Blank on here, but do you have any?
Nope, I don't have anything with the holiday week last week.
Okay. Moving on into item I, matters presented by the public. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments at this time? Seeing none, we'll move into item J, which is matters presented by the City Commission. Commissioners. Commissioner Busta.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Mayor Gary for his work on the MI housing program through the Michigan Municipal League. This potential program has an opportunity to really make a dent in the housing crisis and also give control to local communities, which is certainly important for us. Additionally, I'd like to urge our lawmakers as they consider our state budget cuts. Currently, one plan has to cut statutory revenue sharing and cut that back, and we just got it funded last year. And I just would urge our lawmakers to consider what they're doing to local communities when they do not properly fund us and give us the revenue sharing that our communities need and depend on. Finally, there were two issues that came out through social media this week, and I just would love to hear an update on that. One dealt with downtown parking. I know there's been some concerns about parking meters not working properly. Do we have an idea of how many are not working, and is there a plan to get those operational? Thank you.
We don't have a good idea on when parking meters break because there's not a Wi-Fi system to them or anything like that. Sherilyn, our enforcement officer, she goes around downtown. She kind of has her hot spots where there's a lot of traffic there because she has to take the quarters out quite frequently. When it is obvious that they're broken, she'll replace them. A lot of the times we get calls or emails that come in that say this one is broken, or even through our ticket appeal process, if somebody parks at one and they appeal the ticket because they received a ticket and they put on there that it's broken, Sherilyn will get that. She'll go out, she'll verify that it's actually broken, replace it or fix it, and then recommend appealing that ticket as it moves forward. So it's not like a smart type of technology that we have to where we know when they're instantly broken. We do have staff that are out and about kind of checking these things, but really it's kind of word of mouth or from phone calls or emails when people let us know when the meters are broken. The meters that we do currently have, I think last time I talked to the chief about them, we still have an okay supply of replacements there, but they are an older model. I think these ones we may have bought used from somewhere else at one point, but we do have a pile of them, but as they break, we replace them out and just kind of going through them. So we don't really have, I guess, kind of to your question, we don't have anything that flashes that they're broke or anything like that. A lot of the time, it's the quarter mechanism that's not broke. We've had people put sand, glue, rocks, anything sticky, anything that'll break it in those things. So, I mean, we do what we can do, but a lot of them we don't know. In short, we don't really know when they're broken until somebody lets us know that they're broken.
Thank you, certainly understandable, and I appreciate administration's work on doing what they can to remedy that, and also give some leniency to parkers who may have a malfunctioning parking meter. Finally, I would add, one of the concerns throughout social media this week was on our docks at Rotary Park. I know administration has told us that the water level there was too low for the handicap accessible dock to be placed in the water there. Were there other, I'm just concerned that there might have been an opportunity to place that other places at Rotary Park, or perhaps if we were not able to place it, putting that somewhere where it's not going to have the wear and tear throughout all summer, just sitting out in the open. So I guess that is my concern regarding that. I appreciate the hard work our DPW does, and I know that they work hard to get the waterways ready every year, but certainly that's a park that's highly utilized by local kayakers, and I think it's a great recreational activity, and I would love to see us remedy that in the future.
So I guess you're just looking for an update, correct?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
That would be great.
Okay, so the kayak launches at Rotary Island, so we do have an MOU through our Adopt a Park program. It's the Outhouse Consortium that has came forward and volunteered to coordinate and take out the boats or the docks and the launches for the kayak system. This year, they were looking at doing some different things. Word got out. They pivoted their plans back to the normal way. They were going to put them in, and they went to do it, and it just didn't work out that particular day. Being that it's the end of the season, it really didn't make sense to continue to push them forward. Kind of moving forward, the marching orders for those things are just to put them in as they are, the way they're supposed to be, not move them around. If there's low water, kind of work around it to a certain extent, but put them in. But, our volunteers were the ones that were really coordinating a lot of that stuff. They had a couple of ideas on that they were trying to do to make it a little bit more accessible and user-friendly in some other areas, but that ultimately just kind of faded out. So I think there's a lot of room for improvement on working with our partners on the kayak docks and the launches, and we'll look forward to doing it next year. I think the people that have volunteered to do those are going to come to the commission probably in the winter time and give kind of an update / rundown on kind of their timeline and what they're going to do in the springtime when the snow and the ice opens up next year. So that way it's out there, what they're going to do, when they're going to do it, and then the commission knows and the public knows as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that update, and I appreciate the understanding of the urgency to have those down there. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments, Commissioner. Anybody else? Mr. Bauer.
Your Honor, so moved that we adjourn this meeting.
Support.
Motion and support, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.